Okay, take 27 because there've been some issues in discerning sort of, I guess, some of the hurdles as they exist because you have, let me turn this up, there we go, as they have a few issues when it comes to, I guess, other videos out there describing sort of basically some of the issues or hurdles that you'll see once you try to remove the carb. This is a 2006 DRZ, or I just call it the DR400. And of course, it's going to be empty. It'll fill up once it gets hot. But anyway, small rebuild, clean the gunk, new battery with battery terminal goo. Of course, I'll need to reapply a little bit more, but it was heavily corroded. And of course, over here dangling like it's a brake line on a truck, but it's not. Is the carb upside down and a little bit problematic, but I got two issues. I can technically try and run this, but I'm waiting for the sound in the background. The new fuel petcock, because unfortunately on here, find that here, the once you remove this with the screws, the mesh screens or the filters are damaged. So this is being replaced. It's already been ordered, but notice how this one actually has two vacuum hoses. You'll see cheapies on Amazon. Amazon or eBay. I recommend not picking those up, even if you want to save $60, because it's not a very good idea. So anyway, I just need to point this out. If your bike has one of these and you're stuck in the middle like me, stuck in Texas, then chances are that because California is actually pretty close to Japan whenever they ship these over or whatever, you're going to have this emissions control, this Evap canister. And it does have two lines. Unfortunately, this one tucks under, but they both end up splitting. And what I'm kind of tugging on feels like one, but it's not. But basically, this is one right here. It's going to connect to, and this is upside down. Let me unhook this so I have a little bit of weight on it. Let me finagle it over here. But anyway, correct side this is facing, yes. But basically, you have two little hurdles. You're going to have the shorter Evap canister hose, which is right here, hooking into a, I don't want to call it a shim, but basically it is a different colored hose hookup. It's, sorry, that's a throttle adjustment, but it's very distinct. It's like a golden color. And so some of the other issues is that you have a secondary hose, which is much longer length. However, on the underside of the tank from the petcock, and this actually provides like a boost suction. So, you know, all that being said, you have some of the hurdles that come up because you're like, well, this hose is unhooked. Yeah, it is unhooked. But again, pointing this out on the fuel petcock, it's actually the smaller boost hose for this nipple right here, and this is the actual fuel line feeder, which once you actually hook the carburetor up, it's this L-shaped hose right here. I am missing the other metal shim. I'll have to have that replaced, but in any event, the original diaphragm did not actually have this nose or hosel or whatever. But this is what I ordered whenever I put in the specific model number, engine size, year, etc. And so I did notice on a clip of another video that they had actually just put a small like nipple cap on there, which is more likely what I intend to do, so that it does not have what is it called, unnecessary vacuum. So anyway, I'm going to pause this video so that we can install this or reinstall it. I did kind of unhook this just to have a little bit more mobility. I've seen some people use screwdrivers to try and shim this over. I highly recommend against this. I'm going to spray some degreaser right here just because I like things looking clean. But also the fuel filter had disintegrated, but I've since cleaned the inside of it. But basically, I'm going to use what are kind of like medical tongs as well to basically go behind the bar. Make sure you're not putting any friction or force on the wires because you will damage them. And that's more costly, more expensive, and not a lot of people are going to be able to say they're willing to work on such an old archaic toy, without charging an arm and a leg. But basically, I'm going to just create enough force so that whenever I slide the carburetor on, I can just simply withdraw this, and then that'd be good. And then we can move to the second part of reconnecting the actual throttle cables. I want to call them throttle adjustment, but throttle cables. Back onto the carb. Please note that in a majority of people's struggles, they do not remove, and this is a little tough. I have to do this with two hands, but basically, if you pry this off, it's a very firm rubber, and of course, there's a metal band that goes around that you tighten to secure it. But there's actually two of them. But in any event, once you do remove these, pry this off and reinstall back onto the carburetor, so that once you're actually ready to withdraw the tongs from this side, this can be fit on first, so that you're basically just going to be wiggling to where this side of the carb is going to be reset. This one actually resets first, but if in any event it does not, and as you're withdrawing the tongs, you can kind of basically shimmy the carb back on here because it's somewhat malleable. Just bear in mind there are other hoses like the I forget what sensor this is. This is the temperature sensor, I believe, but this is just short and it's in the way, so you're going to actually have to keep that in mind and have it out of the way. And then I'll resume here in a minute.